it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Zatima Season 2, Episode 12. It picks up exactly where I left off with Zach looking sad, and Nate and Tony are like, I didn't know she could sing like that. Zach's like, yeah, she can. Then out of nowhere, Belinda walks over to Nate, but she sees Zach, and she's like, what the heck are you doing here? Nate's like, this is my boy Zach. Belinda's like, yeah, I know him. She's like, so y'all know each other? He's like, yeah, we slept together one time and that was it. And Belinda's like, yeah, he's the reason I lost my best friend. Then Tony's like, well, tell the story. They're like, it's a long story and there's no reason to tell it. Zach is like, hey, yo, I'm out. Tony's like, how you gonna get home? You rode with us. Zach is like, trust me, I'll find a way. Tony agrees to take Zach home, but before Zach leaves, he walks over to Angela because he still sees her sitting there. He goes, is Fatima at your house? Angela goes, why would I tell you that? Angela doesn't know how to lie for nothing. I wouldn't want to be with her in the crime. So Zach takes it as a yes, and he leaves. Angela knows that something's about to happen, so she tells Sam, yeah, we gotta go. Back at Angela's, Paul and Fatima look like they're about to engage in sex. And Fatima's on top of Paul, but then she tells him to stop because she realizes that she can't do it. And I'm like, yes, don't be giving Roxy away to anybody and everybody just because you're mad at Zach. So they decide to stop and they decide to have a conversation. And Fatima tells Paul, look, I'm just using you because I'm still thinking about Zach. And I'm hurt right now. And he did something, my deal breaker list, like cheating. Paul's like, oh wow. Paul starts naming stuff that they have in common, like theater, and Paul tells Fatima that she could use him for sex and she could even say Zach's name during sex. And I'm like, Paul, you sound so pathetic and pitiful. It don't make no sense. Because why would any grown man in their right mind be okay with a woman calling another man's name during sex that she was engaged to and in love with? Make that make sense. Angela walks in and she sees Fatima and she tells Fatima that Zach is on his way. Fatima's like, how you know? Angela is like, trust me, I know. And you're playing with a dangerous game and I don't want my stuff broke. So Paul, you gotta go. Fatima's like, Paul, you don't have to go. But at first she did tell Paul that he had to leave. Paul says that he's gonna stay if Zach is really that mad. Zach does eventually pull up with Tony, and Tony's on go. He's ready to fight anybody and anybody. And I'm like, yes, Tony, you're a great friend. But Paul tells Zach that he has nothing to worry about and that they didn't do anything. And Zach knocks on the door. Angela's like, see, I told you she wasn't here. Zach is like, why are you lying? I heard her. Then Angela's like, she doesn't want to talk right now. Then Zach is begging and pleading. Like, beg and plead for your sympathy. I don't mind, cause you mean that much to me. He is begging. Talking about, Fatima, I love you, I want to talk. Fatima told Angela to tell him that she went to bed. But all in actuality, she's hiding. But you can tell that Zach's begging is getting to her because she can see in her eyes that she wants to talk to him. But she's trying to be strong. Rise Ventures, Bryce and Zach are talking. And Zach asks Bryce, do you think I need to see a therapist? Bryce is like, yeah, but I can't be the one to tell you that you need therapy. Do you think you need it? Zach is like, I guess. But then Bryce starts talking about the deal and how Zach should check out the deal. And I'm like, can't you see that Zach is going through something and all you want to talk about is money and how he needs to be laser focused, which I understand. But you have yet to ask Zach what is wrong with him. At the law firm, Fatima gets a call from Dr. Reed saying that can she come in at 12 because he has something to tell her about Zach. Fatima's like, I don't want to know anything about Zach. Dr. Reed's like, I think you should come. And while Fatima's on the phone, Angela walks in. Angela's like, who is that? She's like, it's Dr. Reed. And he has something to tell me about Zach. I don't want to go, but I think I owe it to him. Angela's like, speaking of Zach, he was very pitiful last night. Fatima's like, and? He lied to me and he cheated on me. That's something I can't do. Because if I let him think that he can do it, he'll just run over me. And I can't let him do it. Plus, you have to send them a message of the stuff that you will take and you won't. And Angela's like, I wish I could set boundaries like that. Fatima's like, well, if Zach and his begging. Angela's like, you don't mean that. Fatima's like, when did you become Team Zach all of a sudden? Angela's like, since he came to my house looking all pitiful. Fatima's like, well, I'm going on a date with Paul. Angela said, do you really like him? And you can tell on Fatima's face that the answer is no, but her mouth is saying yeah. I'm like, Zach goes over to the barbershop to talk to Tony, but Tony's not there, so he ends up talking to Mr. Tyrone. And Mr. Tyrone goes, I heard you broke up with that fine girl. Zach is like, we're working through some things. Mr. Tyrone goes, so you're not getting any more advice from those knuckleheads, are you? Zach is like, no, but I think I want to go see a therapist. He asks Mr. Tyrone what he thinks, and Mr. Tyrone says, therapy is for bees. And I'm like, that is not the correct answer you want to hear. Because every black man, or every man in general, needs somebody to talk to. And they can't hold their emotions inside all the time. This is when Nate walks up, and he asks Zach, what are you doing here? Zach is like, I came to talk to a friend. Nate's like, well, I came to talk to you too. I'm sorry about Belinda. I didn't know. Zach is like, you got nothing to worry about. I don't care. And you better be careful. He's like, why? Because she's your sloppy seconds? Zach is like, no. And I know I'm not the second. More like the 4,000. I've had my fair share of bodies. And I'm not number 2. And neither are you, so you better be careful. Nate's like, so that's how she knows how to do all that freaky stuff. Zach is like, obviously. Zach is like, why are you doing this stuff anyway? Aren't you married? Nate is like, yeah, but Lori's not returning my calls, my texts, my DMs. She rips up my letters, my emails. What am I supposed to do? Zach is like, you're not serious about Belinda, are you? Nate is like, no, she's just free bottles and tables. I'm like, both y'all, you and Belinda need help, Nate. Back at the law firm, Fatima asked Paul out on a date to dinner because she wanted to ask him to lunch, but she has an appointment with Dr. Reed. So they agreed to go to dinner at 8 o'clock. Back at the barbershop, Belinda pulls up on Tony and Nate, and Belinda asks Nate to take her to the Chinese restaurant to get some Jonah roll tofu or something. And Nate is like, why don't you take me to lunch? Belinda says, okay. Nate says, I'll pay you back though. Belinda's like, you better not be paying me back in no dick. And I'm like, wow. Tony goes inside and it's just Belinda and Nate outside. And Belinda's like, I can't believe they broke up. Nate is like, well, I'm glad you showed me that app because I can't believe I found her on there. Belinda's like, I'm waiting for Fatima to call me and tell me I was right. And Nate says, I'm just waiting for Zach to do the same thing. Then Angela walks up. She's like, I knew I was going to see you today. Belinda's like, how? Angela's like, because we have that twin telepathy thing. And then Belinda goes, this is Nate. Angela goes, you're Zach's friend, right? Nate goes, yeah, that's my boy. And then Belinda goes, yeah, that's Zach's boy. Angela's like, what are you doing? Belinda's like, he's just something to do when there ain't nothing to do. Then Zach goes back over to his neighborhood and he sees Connie and he talks to Connie for a little bit. And Connie's like, I missed you and we could finish what we tried to start. Zach is like, I can't. Connie's like, I miss you and your And Connie's like, well, my Gucci misses you. And I'm like, Connie, you're very bold. That man don't want you. He even said in another life he would. But in this life, he's not with it. So Connie, you need to stop trying. He is hilariously desperate. So she tells Zach to listen. He's like, listen to what? She's like, lower, lower, lower. Zach is like, what am I listening to? Connie's like, you're listening to my Gucci. She's wet and she ready. I'm like, Connie, please stop. Zach is like, I'm here to see my mom. Have you seen her? Connie said, yeah, she's down there with Jeremiah. Zach goes down there to talk to his mom, and he sees her standing there next to Jeremiah. Zach asks, are you going to be honest? Jeremiah goes, are you wearing a wire? Zach goes, why in the world would I be wearing a wire, Jeremiah? Make that make sense. Jeremiah's like, well, you're going to have to pay us. Zach is like, pay y'all for what? Jeremiah's like, you helping us out. Then this old Pookie, the crackhead, Janine, the crackhead self says, listen to your brother. Zach is like, so I really got to pay y'all to talk? And Zach really pulls out his wallet and gives them money. Gladys says, I'll talk, but you got to go take me to get some cigarettes first. I'm like, really, Gladys? Really? Then we have Fatima finally arriving to Dr. Reed's office, and Dr. Reed approaches her and says, I don't want you to be surprised, but there is a surprise. Fatima's like, well, I want to see what it is. Then Fatima walks into Dr. Reed's office, and she sees Zach, Gladys, and Jeremiah sitting there, and she's looking at Dr. Reed like, really? But let me know what you guys think about the episode. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the next episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications. Bye.